What is this for? Sisters? Okay. You guys have those mics or you don't need it anymore? Oh, this is all included? Oh, mashallah, the technology. Okay, we ready? Mr. Muhammad. Okay. I'm just doing a regular recording, I'm not live. I want people to come here and not rely on live. طيب بسم الله الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه. So the way we're doing this Saturday Night Live is have 20-30 minute talk / story, back and forth, and then around 7:30 we'll just do live Q&A. Ask me questions. If you guys run out of questions, we'll just pull one of those 100,000 questions that I have on my stories, and then we'll answer some, inshallah. I'm trying to go through stories of the prophets. Last week we talked about Adam and Hawa and Iblis and the creation and the whole story. Anyone want to tell me a few lessons of the story of Adam and Hawa? Even if you weren't here, what are the lessons? Because the stories are beautiful because we can remember the lessons through the story. It's much better to go through a story, and that's how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that's why He told the Prophet to keep relating stories. فَقْصُصِ الْقَصَصَ لَعَلَّهُمْ يَتَفَكَّرُونَ. Keep narrating stories so that people reflect and remember. So, give me some quick lessons from the story of Adam and Hawa. Yes.
So, because Hawa, she came from the rib of Adam alayhi salam, Prophet Muhammad said, take care of your wife, so don't straighten her out like a rib cage, so don't try to...
Wow, this guy is going straight for the rib cage, man. Like, yeah, mashallah. Okay, yes. Although we didn't talk about it, correct. Yeah, it is a hadith that again, it's figurative. Don't take it too literally. It doesn't mean women are inferior or what have you. It's just the Prophet says, this is the nature, and don't try to think your wife is going to be perfect how you want. She is who she is. Obviously, there has to be understanding, all that stuff, but don't you have to be exactly like this and that. Okay, cool. Other lessons from the story of Adam and Hawa. Okay, so the main thing was, if you're going to sin, because we are going to sin, we're humans, yeah? Make sure your sin is not out of arrogance, it's out of just your weakness, right? Out of ignorance, weakness. Don't be like, yo, what's wrong with it? It doesn't make sense to me. What's wrong with talking to girls? We're just like BFFs, and we don't touch each other and all that stuff. Try to make it halal, right? Oh, weed, it's fine, it's natural, and it's not addictive. Like cigarettes are addictive, weed is not, and they're trying to argue, and especially with things that are clear cut. Yeah, things that are clear cut. Once you try to go wishy-washy around it, you might leave Islam. You literally might leave Islam. So this is what happened to Shaitan, Iblis. He was like, I'm not going to do it. Why should I do it? I'm better than him. Why should me, who's better, bow to someone who's inferior? So he used his logic. Literally used his logic. Like people use their logic today to not follow Islam. So be careful. That doesn't mean you couldn't ask and clarify and all of that. Sure you can. Okay. As for Adam, his sin was he got tricked. Shaitan gave him promises, told him you're going to have a long eternal life, you're going to be an angel. So he disobeyed Allah out of ignorance. And, Shaitan got to him through his desires, yeah? Any other lessons? There's one more we can do. There was one very important one we talked about last week. Shaitan is not going to come and tell you, disobey Allah. Go clubbing. unless you go clubbing already. But don't go and drink alcohol, unless you're already alcoholic. But he knows you're Muslim. He's not going to tell you to go commit this major sin. Yeah. Instead, he's going to go, that nice shisha place. It's not that bad. There's some halal baddies there. He'll give you like some leeway to get you step at a time, right? So be careful. He's gonna come to you even sometimes from your like good intentions, right? Sister, that brother, he's so smart. Go make sure he's the one who tutors you in calculus, and in chemistry it'll be even better. You guys will have chemistry, inshallah. So be careful, right? So shaitan is gonna, with your good intentions, you want to do good in school, take you one step at a time, right? And of course, the most famous one is like, she's gonna be your wife one day. Get to know her now. Go out for a test drive on the G-Wagon, okay? So, yeah. All right, so be careful, right? He's gonna do it to make the sin seem like, even though you may not have the intention to sin, like you have zero intention to sin, right? But he's gonna make you do something that will lead you eventually to sin. طيب. So what happens after Adam and Hawa are brought to earth? We know a few things, and we're going to continue the story of Adam. He comes down, and there's narrations that him and his wife were separated. They were brought down to earth. They didn't come down together holding hands with a nice shadi song or anything like that, right? They came down and they actually were separated, and they were looking for each other. And it's kind of romantic, you're looking for your wife is looking for you. There's no other human on earth. That's like, oh my God, dill, your dill is like, so so eventually they find each other. Where do they find each other? On Arafah. It's one of the interpretations of why it's called Arafah, is that's where Adam and Hawa reconnected with each other and found each other, was in Arafah. Okay? Now, Adam and Hawa, of course, they're here, new place. This is their new home. Of course, narrations that they were very regretful for many, many years. They were regretful for what had happened. Although Allah forgave them and Allah told them that He forgave them, but they were righteous, obviously, right? They have kids. And the way kids used to happen, obviously different. This is the first children ever born. And the way it used to happen is that Hawa used to give birth to twins, a boy and a girl. And it was haram for the twins to marry each other, but they used to marry another sibling. So the brother, sister, number one, the guy would marry the girl from the second birth, and the guy from the second birth would marry the girl from the first birth. Cross birth, right? And subhanAllah, Allah's wisdom, Allah's, at that time, obviously, you cannot say, inbred and all that stuff. Yeah, that's the only bread you have. There's no other thing, okay? So, man, I don't know where I get this stuff from. Tfaddal, guys, come on in. You guys have to pray Asr, go ahead, inshallah. So, it seems most likely that the first two children, or sets of children, was Habil and Qabil. So Habil and his sister, and it just happened, subhanAllah, Allah's test, that Habil is not the most handsome guy, but his sister is the more handsome girl. She's the baddie, okay? And then Qabil, right? Qabil is he's the baddie, like the male baddie, yeah? So he's the handsome guy with the six packs and all of that. But his sister is, 5, or whatever she is, okay? So she's not that, And obviously when they grow up and it's time to get married, And maybe I should stop making jokes while they're praying. When it comes time to them getting married, Qabil was very jealous and upset. He's like, my sister, I want to marry her. Why should I marry, the other girl? And he was basically rejecting this law. This is a law. This is Sharia. Remember, different nations have different Sharia. Right? Sharia does change with different prophets and different nations. So obviously this is early beginning. This is the Sharia at their time. And he is really upset. So this whole situation, it seems it goes back to Adam alayhi salam. Asking Adam to fix this problem. And there's no problem. This is the law. But he makes it a problem. He's like, no, I refuse. There has to be another way. Find me another fatwa. He wants to do fatwa shopping. Yeah, no, I want another fatwa. I want something else. I don't like this. There's got to be another way, right? So Adam alayhi salam makes dua to Allah to what can be done. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala responds with asking each Habil and Qabil to make a sacrifice. And the way at that time sacrifice was made, again, this is the beginning of time, right? Not the beginning of time, the beginning of human time. There was earth for a long time. Before that, is when you sacrifice, you put your sacrifice on a certain mountain or hill, and then some kind of fire would take it if it was accepted. And if it remains where it is, it means it's not accepted. This is how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did it for them. Habil was a farmer. Habil was a shepherd. So he had animals. And what he did, he chose the most cutest, most beautiful sheep. Like the nicest little sheep that he could find, the best sheep, because he wanted to sacrifice the best, give the best to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Qabil, on the other hand, he's a farmer, so he has crops and vegetables and stuff. And the guy's nature is really bad. And so he gives Allah all the rotten fruits and vegetables. He just gives like, okay, yeah, here's whatever, this is the leftovers. Okay? And of course, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accepts from Habil and rejects Qabil. And Qabil now cannot, now it's a double no. You cannot marry your sister. Qabil does not accept it. After everything, after the Sharia, after the miracle, after the sacrifice, everything happens, he decides, I'm going to kill Habil. Remember, there's no such thing as, no one has killed, these things are not known. But he's like, I'm going to basically end your life. I know there's a way I can end your life, and then you cannot do anything. And of course he knows it's a big sin, but the guy doesn't care about sin. And Habil, being the righteous person, responds and says, look, if you want to kill me, go ahead, I'm not going to kill you back, because it's such a sin. All the sin will fall on you and none on me, and you will go to hell as a result. So he was protecting himself by reminding him of Allah, of consequences of evil, of consequences of such a major sin. But Qabil's heart continued to entice him to go ahead and do it. Go ahead, do it. And one evening, these stories, by the way, they're either from some ahadith or they're from the Isra'iliyat. This is in Ibn Kathir. In Ibn Kathir does narrate some things that are from the Isra'iliyat. What is Isra'iliyat? Is the scriptures of the previous people. Yeah. Okay. All right. So, one evening, Habil doesn't come back home. He's out. And so his mother, Hawa, tells Qabil, go get your brother. See where he is. Qabil goes and he sees him sleeping under a tree. And his desires now, oh, I wanted to kill him. Look at this. He's sleeping. Easy peasy, man. It's right there for me. Slam dunk, right? So he grabs a rock and kills him. Now he committed this. This is what he wanted to do. Now he doesn't know what to do with it. Dead body? What the heck is a dead body? What do I do with this dead body? And he's going around carrying his brother, not knowing what to do. This is in the Quran, this part, right? Allah sends two crows, fight each other, one kills the other, and then digs a hole and pushes the other crow in and covers it. And he's seeing all of this. He's seeing the whole thing in front of his eyes, live, not on a reel or TikTok, like just boom, right there in front of him, yeah? And he's like, now he feels ashamed. He's like, these crows, they're stupid. They killed each other because they're stupid. I'm not like these crows. And they're so stupid they did that, but they're still smart enough that the guy knew what to do. The crow buried the other one. So now I'm double stupid. Like I'm really messed up. Okay? And so he buries his brother. Now he commits this. And you think maybe he's going to repent. Maybe he's going to go back, come up with a story, repent. But no. The guy is lost. He's like, khalas, he's finished, he's evil, he's cooked, he's done. Yeah? So what he decides to do is run away. And so he leaves, but he doesn't leave alone. He takes his sister, grabs her, abducts her, I don't know, whatever he does. Why does she go with him? Whatever, Allahu Alam. If she was willing, not willing, but he takes her and they run away. And they leave the area, the mountainous area where Adam and Hawa and the children of Adam were, the other children. By the way, anyone know how many direct children Adam and Hawa had? How many like doubles? Double. Anyone take a guess?
Was it once every year?
Once every year. They were busy, mashallah. Okay, once every year. Okay, so how many years were they around? They were around for almost 1,000 years. Okay. They had I heard, what I read was 40 children, or 40 doubles, okay, 40 twins. So 80 kids they had in total, okay? But as they were having kids, the kids were growing and having their own kids. So Adam alayhi salam probably saw his grandkids and great-grandkids, Allahu Alam, right? So what happens, Qabil and his sister run away, and they have their own production system there. Okay, so they reproduce, have their own family, etc. But he's such an evil guy. When you have such an evil guy as the father, what kind of children do you think he's going to produce? Evil children. And so that's the first separation in humanity between good people and bad people. You have Adam alayhi salam and his lineage. Then you have Qabil and his lineage. And Qabil and his lineage, they're in the flatlands. They were committing all types of sins, including murder. If their father committed the first murder, then the children, they heard the story, oh, my dad killed my uncle. Yeah? All right, okay, man, I'm going to kill my brother too. Right? So it was very corrupt, messed up. They did not follow Allah's laws at all. Adam alayhi salam and his kids were not ordered to go and fight them and bring them back. Leave them and stay where you are. Actually, the law was do not go and mix with them. Because they're evil, bad people, just don't go near them. What happens, this is over a few decades, Shaitan now, And this one, I don't know if it's a hadith or if it's Isra'iliyat. By the way, you guys know when I say Isra'iliyat, what does it mean? So for those who don't know, Isra'iliyat are things that are found in the scriptures, right? In the Old Testament or the New Testament, because they have these stories there too, right? So the Prophet ﷺ says, if it's in the Isra'iliyat, you can narrate it, but you don't believe it or deny it. Like it's just FYI kind of thing. Of course, if it goes against anything Islamic, we don't accept it. And we're not supposed to derive law from it. So you cannot derive halal and haram from the stories. Okay? Because the stories, you cannot even derive halal and haram from a da'if hadith. Isra'iliyat is worse than da'if. Okay? FYI. Isra'iliyat is weaker than da'if. Because da'if, there's a history, we can track quite a few things. Isra'iliyat is Allah knows, right? So, this story here, this part here, I don't know if it's a hadith or it's a Isra'iliyat, okay? But shaitan invents different beats. He starts making beats, the first beats, right? Making drums and beats for them. And the beats was they were shaken with the beats. And then he also invented the first flute, some kind of instrument where he would blow in it and make this noise. And he taught them. And he came in a physical, beautiful form as a human to teach them this stuff. And what that was doing, what do beats do and music? And those always, people ask, why is it haram? What does it do? What does beats and music do to you? It gets into your heart, and then? Okay, yes? Huh? Controls you. Yeah, the man knows, he knows the moves, okay? So the music makes you move. The people who are into music, the minute the music goes on, they can't control their body. Their body is shaking. Right? That's what the music does to you. It makes you want to shake and bake and, not become a sheikh. Right? Just shake. Right? Yes, sheikh. It does. That shaking, you wouldn't regularly just shake. People yo, what the heck are you doing? Right? But if there's music there, they're going to shake with you. Right? So it takes that shame away and normalizes the shaking and the baking. So the shaking and the baking begins. Literally. Okay? Young people in the audience, I hope they don't understand what I'm saying. So now they're having clubbing sessions. And the people in the mountain, the good guys are hearing these sounds. And people screaming and seem like they're having a good time. Rave in the olden days, the original, the OG raves, yeah? And they're yo, some of them were getting intrigued. What's going on down there? And they knew it was haram. So they were told, don't go. But they were kept yo, I really wonder what really happens there. Right? So some of them decided, we're gonna just go check it out to see it with our own eyes. Curiosity, shaitan takes you one step at a time. So they go just to check it out. And they're coming closer, and then they're able to see the parties. See the nightclubs, literally. And they're watching, and there's something else, another fitna. Here's another fitna. The people on the mountain, the good guys, their men were very handsome. But their girls were 5 out of 10. Okay? Just how it was. Okay? Allah made it like that. Okay? So the guys on the mountain, they're all Hercules and stuff like that. Yeah? They're all this is what the hadith say. Okay? I'm just saying it in Gen Z language. Okay? And then the women, they're Down there, where the corrupt people are, it was the opposite. Where the corrupt people, the sisters there, they were baddies. But the brothers, they were just bad. Okay? So that's what happens. So the good-looking sisters are down there, and the good-looking brothers are up in the mountain. طيب? So what happens when these guys come down? They see the baddies. By the way, is it inappropriate for me to say it? I'll just say that. Yeah, it is, right? Khalas, let me change it, bro. Too many baddies jokes. Okay, so they see good-looking sisters. Okay, khalas, let's keep it halal here. They see good-looking sisters, and they're like, whoa, Snapchat. You know what's going on here? Okay, and they're now really attracted. And then what happens? The good-looking sisters see these good-looking, handsome guys hiding behind, these rocks. And they're like, whoa, Snapchat. These guys are hot, yeah? So they invite them, come on over, come. And they start partying together. SubhanAllah, when these guys go back to the mountain where the other good people are, they're like, yo, you guys are missing out. Yo, it's boring down here. The real cool things are coming down there, man. They got the beats, they got the heats, they got everything. And so now this corruption, it attracted more people from up there. SubhanAllah, of course, Adam alayhi salam did his best to teach his kids. He's a prophet of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Before he dies, he appoints one of his sons to be the next one in charge. And Allah gives him prophethood as well. Who is that? Who's the first prophet after Adam alayhi salam? Yes? Shiekh alayhi salam. Okay? Shiekh alayhi salam is not mentioned in the Quran. There's no ayah about Shiekh, but it is in the hadith that he was the first. And so he was a righteous person, always trying to guide his people. I don't remember if it was in the time of Shiekh or after him. I think it was in the time of Shiekh later on, where then they had a battle with the people down there. Then the corruption was too much, and he was ordered to fight, and they were able to go fight and win. People now, generations come, and Shiekh is about to go. Who is the next prophet after Shiekh? Anyone know? Yes. No, there's one more prophet before Nuh. Yes? Idris alayhi salam. Okay? So after Shiekh alayhi salam is Prophet Idris. And there's 2 ayat in the Quran about Idris, but not much about his story. We don't know too much about Idris alayhi salam's story. He was a prophet, he was the next prophet, he guided human beings. And so it was Idris alayhi salam who was now charged with leading humanity. طيب. We'll stop here. We'll continue from Idris alayhi salam. The next prophet, major prophet, longer story, more lessons inshallah next week is which prophet? Nuh alayhi salam. Okay, so we'll talk about Nuh alayhi salam next week. In the next 15-20 minutes, let's inshallah open it up for some Q&A. If you have any specific questions, please go ahead, raise your hand, and inshallah we'll answer it. And then we'll answer some live questions from Instagram as well. Yes? To be honest, I need to go back and check. I don't know. But this is in most, like in the books, it's written like that. I just don't recall. I should have done my homework before doing this session to see which one is Israeliyat, which one is Hadith. But in Ibn Kathir, this is all mentioned. Okay? If you go on YouTube and listen to any story of it, they just mention it like that. They don't mention which one is Israeliyat, which one is Hadith. Okay, before we take questions, are there any lessons from all of this. This is not supposed to be just like a, Netflix series. Yeah, this is Quran and Hadith. When we get these stories, it's for us to learn stuff. What are some things from the story that we told you guys? What are some stories you can connect with, or lessons from what we mentioned here? Yes.
When you mentioned that people on the mountain came back from meeting the people below, and they were telling their people that you're missing out, I relate that to peer pressure quite a bit, because especially living here in the West, and I kind of want to lead that into a question as well. How do young brothers who are in school, who are in university, when the only thing around you, the only place you're giving most of your time is a co-ed environment, is an environment that's not conducive to practicing Islam and being modest, what are some practical ways for you to stay away from that? Consider those the people in the flatlands and the people on the mountain. When that's all you have around you, what are some practical ways to stay around that? Because for me, peer pressure, I think, for young brothers is the number one thing. And like you mentioned, Shaitan doesn't tell you to commit the major sin right away. He tells you all these little things. And when you're in the education system for 10 plus years, you've been around girls and this and that. By the time you get to university, you are old enough, be independent enough, and see enough testosterone for you to just go do whatever you want.
100%. Very good question. So, just so everybody understood the question. The question was, first the lesson was, Shaitan will get you through enticing you and through peer pressuring you. Right? So instead of Shaitan telling you, he'll get your friends to tell you. Your friends can become better than Shaitan. Yeah? They're more convincing sometimes because they're in your face and they're telling you and they're giving it to you, whatever it is, right? So that is a lesson, definitely. There'll always be people giving you da'wah. Da'wah is not always to goodness. Da'wah can be to evil. They're inviting you, they're pushing you, right? And what are some ways to protect ourselves? What are some ways to avoid getting influenced through peer pressure, through social media, through whatever is popular? Do you guys want to give a couple? What are some ways to help yourself push against peer pressure? How do you protect yourself? Yes. Okay, so very good. It's not easy. And sometimes it's hard. Depends what school you go to, right? Sometimes if you're in a school, you can have good friends around you. You can have a nice, beautiful crew. You're good to go, right? Now, if you can't, find at least one person. Find one person who can help you, and you can help them, right? That one person will be a big support for you. So look for one person. You can't tell me there isn't one good person in the school, right? Even, I don't think it's the case here, maybe when we went to school, maybe it was the case, well, he's younger than me, he's much younger. I'm looking for, my brother, how are you doing there? Yeah. When we were at school, there was perhaps very, very, very few Muslims. And I know, alhamdulillah, our area did have quite a few Muslims even at that time. But I did used to hear about schools where there's like 0 Muslims, right? Find the best non-Muslim. Not every non-Muslim necessarily goes drinking, clubbing and all that. There are some non-Muslims who don't do that. So find at least one person. That's one strategy. What else? Find good company. If you can't find good company, find good person at least. Yes. Yeah, you need to, if you're not connected to Allah, you're cooked. If you're not connected to Allah, your heart is going to get weaker. You need to strengthen your iman. You need to be very persistent in your salah, in your dhikr, in your Quran, all of that stuff. You need to be mindful of this danger around us. If you're not, you're done, right? Tayyib, very good. What else? Give me another thing to do. Yes, Sheikh.
I'm giving this from your khutbah.
Okay, mashallah. I don't remember my khutbah, but Allah barik feek. Allah barik feek.
Screaming here,
Yes.
La ilaha illallah.
Uh-huh.
You were giving us the message of the power of La ilaha illallah. That beautiful story you mentioned, right? So I found, I'm here for all of you brothers and brothers. So
Alhamdulillah.
we have right and left everywhere shaitan. And this brother, what you mentioned about kalima, I found the best solution is kalima la ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah, la ilaha illallah in our heart, in our mind. So whenever you feel there is some like bad thing happening, so Allah protects us if we remember Allah, right brother?
100%.
Power of kalima is very much.
Okay. So, dhikr, understanding Islam, understanding what La ilaha illallah means, reconnecting to it, making dua, right? All of those things help. There's one more last one and then we'll move on. What we're doing here. What are we doing here? You're having halal entertainment, yeah? You're having remembrance, you're having, reminders. We're all like reminding each other. Having that weekly point, even if it's not at school. The brother mentioned there's bad environment at the school. Make sure you have a good environment, something you do weekly at least. And Jum'ah khutbah may not be enough because you're probably sleeping during the khutbah. Yeah? So have another halaqah, some masjid, some place where other Muslim youth who are in your age or older people, we're all youth here, doesn't matter how old you are. I like to think that at least. So it doesn't matter, right? Have like people around you. So even if they're not in your school, but hey, bro, what's going on? What school you go to? Make connections. So having that at least once a week. So that's very important why we have masajid, and very important for the masajid to have good programs, and even inshallah not just halaqat, but more programs, that you can come here. Boxing, we're going to be starting soon. Quran classes and other classes, so that this is how you're going to strengthen yourself. Okay? Cool. Any other lessons from the story? Yes, brother.
Repercussions of Hasad was the fight between the brothers was due to Hasad. One wanted what the other had.
Yeah. Remember this guy Qabil, if we made his story kind of funny, but it's not funny at all. This guy is going to hell for eternity. This guy destroyed his dunya and akhirah. And again, in the story, they're dancing, they're having fun. You can see the corruption down there. You can see people killing each other, crimes. They're not having fun, guys. That lifestyle, the gangster lifestyle, the clubbing lifestyle, that's not what you want to be in. It seems nice momentarily while you're having that fun, but it's full of destruction, full of anxiety, full of depression, full of all sorts of negativities. That's not a fun life. Yeah, it seems like, I have freedom, I can, do whatever I want, but that's why you need to follow Allah's guidance, because He knows better what's good for you than you know for yourself. So Qabil, because of his jealousy, because he didn't accept Allah's decree, sometimes you just can't have it. That really nice brother in your class you wanted to marry, that really nice sister in the class you wanted to marry, her parents said, no, you're not Pakistani enough, or you're not Indian enough, or you're not Arab enough. Yeah? And you're like, I cannot accept that. I'm going to run away with her. Don't do that. The nikah is not valid. You can't just run away. The whole point of a nikah is that the father who's the guardian is okay with it. Yeah, but he's such a messed up guy. Not for you to say he's a messed up guy. Maybe you're the messed up guy that he's trying to protect his daughter from. Okay? So, right? It's okay. You had a crush, now you're getting crushed. You didn't do it the right way from the beginning. Why did you go have that iced cappuccino with her? Who told you? Suddenly now you have emotions and you cannot let go. And you don't want to accept Allah's qadr that it's not happening. So then you go and find ways and you're going to go mess yourself. You have to accept Allah's qadr when something is not for you and you cannot have it in a halal way. If you cannot have it in a halal way, just don't have it at all. That's the story. If you can't have it in a halal way, don't have it at all. And there's a promise, Allah will give it to you in a halal way eventually. Whoever leaves something haram for the sake of Allah, the Prophet ﷺ says, Allah promises to give them that or more. I know when you're in love, when you're in crush, right? Whatever the soda crush, orange crush, whatever the crush is, yeah? When you're in that crush, you're like, there's nothing else except this orange crush. There's no other crush in the world. Nothing else is as good as this orange crush. How do you know? There's just one crush you got to know. There's more than 1 billion other crushes out there. So relax. Allah will give you a much better cherry crush one day. Just let go for the sake of Allah. Maybe Allah saving you from that. Every divorce, listen guys, every divorce is between two people who loved each other one time. There's no divorce between people who always hated each other. They all loved each other so much that decided to get married. So most of these crushes sometimes become a means of being crushed later on. So accept Allah's qadr, move on. Alright? Yes, my brother.
One key component of the story I don't think it's highlighted is the fact that they're good looks.
Mm.
And it reminds me of another story, Prophet
Mm.
Yusuf alayhi salam.
Mm.
Now, Yusuf alayhi salam was tested with his looks. Now, Sheikh, I have a question for you. Especially on social media for our brothers, what I see, a lot of people are concerned about being a 10 from 10. Even guys are concerned about this. If I don't look a certain part, if I'm not a 10 from 10, I'm worthless. Even brothers are suffering from this. Sheikh, can you convey what advice would you have for our brothers and for our sisters about looks, especially with social media?
Ya Allah, first of all, it's a natural thing. But natural doesn't mean okay. It's a natural thing to want more money. It's a natural thing to want to be envious. There's a lot of things that are natural, but Islam came to channel yourself and control yourself and have self-discipline and reorient yourself. Just because natural doesn't make it okay. So Islam, first of all, when it comes to our own looks, what are we supposed to say when we look at the mirror? Who knows the dua? Whenever you check yourself out in the mirror, what's the halal pickup line you're supposed to give for yourself? Very close. It doesn't begin with alhamdulillah. That's why you're getting thrown off. Help them out. Yes. Allahumma kama hassanta khalqi fahassin khuluqi. Or the other way around. Basically you're saying, Ya Allah, as you made me amazing, beautiful, you gave me eyes, you gave me nose, you gave me mouth and lips and skin and hair, even if you don't have hair. Yeah, Allah, as you made me this person from the exterior, Ya Allah, also make my character beautiful. So it's an acknowledgement like, Ya Allah, you made me beautiful. But what happens if you don't say that? Every time you're looking at the mirror, you're looking at, this hair is not growing as fast as the hair, and there's this dimple here, and this nose here, and this, and you're just looking for anything that is like missing in your face. And you look at it every day thinking it's going to change somehow through some cream or lotion or motion. Alright? It's like, bro, relax. Allah gave you, alhamdulillah, health. Being healthy is the most beautiful thing you have. There's nothing more beautiful than being healthy. And you need to thank Allah for it. Not feel like you don't have it. So that's dua, remember it. Allahumma kama hassanta khalqi fahassin khuluqi. And therefore you're now keeping yourself busy with what? What is your focus? Your focus is your behavior and character. That's what matters. What kind of eyes, lips, color Allah gave you is Allah's gift to you. He's not going to ask you, you're not going to increase your status anywhere with Allah based on what Allah gave you. What's going to increase your status is your character, is how you act with people, how you act with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala when there's no one around. That's part of your character. So now right away you're orienting yourself and your focus is about my akhlaq. So focus on your akhlaq more than your haircuts and your beard cuts. Although it's okay, it's halal. The Prophet, one person said, a person likes to have a good hair and nice shoes. He said, there's nothing wrong with that. He says, just don't have arrogance by looking down at people. Arrogance is not wanting nice hair. It's okay. Go ahead. But don't be obsessed. And with social media, be careful. You want to compete against the whole world? Usually people in the time, they were living in towns, 1,000 people. They're comparing themselves to 1,000, 2,000 people. Now you're comparing yourself to 1 million people, billion people. Don't do that. And you don't know what problems those people are having. And you might be like, oh, that guy is looking much better than me. You don't know what problems that person is having. You don't know what issues they're having. You don't know how much suffering is perhaps the person is having, regardless of how much smiling they're doing while their camera is on for 30 seconds. Okay? So don't focus on that. Accept Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, how He created you. Focus on what matters, which is your character and your deen and your iman, inshaAllah. Cool? Any other questions? Yes, my brother Ali. Ali number 2.
You mentioned earlier about a deep connection to Allah. If you don't have that deep connection, and you don't speak Arabic.
Yeah.
What's the best way to kind of reestablish?
So how do you get closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? It's not a switch. It's a continuous self-discipline, and there are different things you need to do. One of the things the Prophet ﷺ says that the hearts, this is all related to heart, that the hearts lose iman and decay. Not lose iman, but they decay. He says it decays just like iron decays with water. So the Sahaba asked him, Ya Rasulullah, what is the remedy? Like, how do we get rid of the decay and make it nice? So he gave them 2 ingredients in this hadith. The 2 ingredients in this hadith is 1, increasing remembrance of death. When you increase remembrance of death, you're gonna be gone soon. You're gonna be cooked soon, man. All this life, all this pleasure, all this stuff, man, it's not gonna help me. So remembering death and remembering it often, and going to janazas and doing washing dead body if you can, and go visit the cemetery, make dua for family members maybe who passed away, or people you remember, man, this life is so short, right? Because it's always it's a tug of war between wanting to have fun and dunya and YOLO and chill and have fun versus the other fun, worshipping Allah and being close to Allah. That's another fun. Initially, it may not be fun to pray salah, to read Quran, to pray qiyam, but when you keep doing it, it has the most amazing fun. And just remember Ramadan. When we're in Ramadan, we're like fasting, we're praying Taraweeh, we're going to qiyam, and it seems all this stuff is happening and it's hard. But tell me, halfway through Ramadan, isn't it beautiful? By the last few nights of Ramadan, aren't you in this? Isn't it the most fun time of the year where you're like, man, this is so nice. And it's so nice to be close to Allah. So you need to increase that. Second thing mentioned in there is increasing recitation of the Quran. Of course, this is meant to understand the Quran. You're saying you don't speak Arabic, no problem. 2 things you need to do. 1, look at reflections of the Quran. Tafsir of the Quran, people who explain the Quran, and there's a lot of beautiful videos out there, different series. One that I really like is Nu'man Ali Khan, who, regardless people have issues or whatever, his tafsir is beautiful in English. He makes it really relatable, a lot of stories, connects it to the Quran. So Tafsir Nu'man Ali Khan is amazing. Go listen to half an hour a day, whatever you can. Yeah? Other thing to do is learn Arabic slowly. You don't have to learn it all in 1 year. Relax. Just take weekend Arabic classes. Take one Arabic class a week. And before you know it, you're increasing your level of Arabic so that when you're reading the Quran, at least you're catching 50% of the words, etc. Okay? Also, those two things mentioned in the hadith. Other thing, what are we doing here again? Reminders. وَذَكِّرْ فَإِنَّ الذِّكْرَى تَنْفَعُ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ. Reminders are good for believers. Right? Doesn't matter what you know, how much you know. Sometimes people think, I know all of that stuff. I don't need to go to the masjid. Right? Teenagers, they think they know it all, mashallah. No, not you guys. You guys are the good guys. That's why you guys are here, yeah? But some teenagers out there, yeah? Oh, dad, yeah, I know that. I know story already. I know all the stories. Right? It's not about knowing. It's about growing. It's about being reminded. It's about connecting. Right? So having these opportunities to be reminded, to be with other people, to be in the masajid, right? Is all going to help you with that. And then last one. And then we'll do some quick stories. Yo, how far is the pizza? 15 plus tax. Okay, 1.5. 50, okay, طيب. By the way, Habib's apologized. I didn't follow up with them. Last week they told me they're coming, but I didn't follow up since last week. I asked them today, yo, is the food coming? Like, yo, Sheikh, you never confirmed. I was like, why would I need to confirm, man? I told you last week. So I'll try to improve that communication, inshallah, with them. So we do have pizza though. Pizza's coming. Lastly is to understand your purpose of life and living that purpose of life and that mission of life. That mission of life, most people think is just praying salah. Salah is the cornerstone. But you cannot build a building with just a cornerstone. You need the rest of the building. You need to understand what the purpose of the building is. So, Islam's purpose is to establish fully the deen of Allah, way of life of Allah in yourself and then in society. Okay? Do we have Islam established anywhere in the world? Anywhere in the world where Islam is established, we have all the laws of Allah applied? No. That's not supposed to be a hard question. You guys are scared to answer it. No, there isn't. Okay? Islam was fought for hundreds of years to ensure that there is no other system. God's system is always fought historically because people want to follow their own laws, not Allah's laws. Right? So understand what Islam is. Understand Islam is actually the justice of Allah, the rules of Allah that is supposed to be here for all humanity to follow. So there's no kings and queens and servants and slaves, that were all the slaves of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The only way to freedom in society is when everyone in society is a slave of Allah. It doesn't mean everybody has to be Muslim. Doesn't mean that. Muslims, societies always had non-Muslims in there. But the authority in society was to Allah. Just like the Muslim is accountable to the laws, the non-Muslim is accountable to the laws. But whose laws? Allah's laws. And Allah's laws is the only laws that can bring you that justice, that fairness, that economic system, judicial system, and all of that. Okay? So understand that and be on sort of the path that I want to be part of, inshallah, bringing back Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's way of life to humanity so that humanity gets saved from itself. As we see all the corruption and all the genocide and evil that's happening around us. Okay? Alright. You guys ready for some live Q&A? It's not live Q&A. It's just live for you. You can hear what kind of crazy questions I'm getting asked here, yeah? No crush ones, yeah. Okay. Oh. Whoa. I went back too far. About to crush this thing here. Okay. Some of the stuff is funny. I'll keep it halal, okay? No, for real, some of the stuff is not halal. Okay. Allah help me here. Don't worry, if it's bad, I'll just stop the recording, okay? And then we can do take 2. But usually take 1 is always the best one. All right. Is it haram to ask for G-Wagon? Let's redo that one. Ya Allah, help me. Okay, here we go. I'm not supposed to smile, that's the trick. I'm supposed to be serious, reading ridiculous questions in a very serious face. Ya Allah, okay, here we go. Oh, I can't. Oh my God, how do I not laugh? Okay. I'm laughing at my face, man. Okay. طيب. Is it... Oh, bro, come on. I pressed the wrong button. Okay. Is it haram to ask for G-Wagon as mahr? Haram for guys to judge me for asking it. Look, sister, man, do you want the G-Wagon or do you want the G? Who are you asking for? And if you're going to ask for that, why do you want people not to judge you? Listen, if you're going to go for a G, a top G who's got millions, ask for whatever you want. But if you really like a person, then don't overburden them. Although you can ask for whatever you want, but you might lose the G-Wagon and the G. Good answer? You guys good? Yeah, khalas. Okay. Let's see what else we got here.
I can't stop laughing at that first attempt. Will you stop that?
Oh man. For those who don't know what a G-Wagon is, it's like a $300,000 car or something, maybe more. Okay. I'll read you guys a few and tell me which one you guys want me to answer. Because some of these are, yeah. Can I get free Roblox in Jannah? Obviously. Is it halal to attend mixed singles meeting events with intention to find a life partner? MashaAllah. Yeah. Okay. I love Palestine. Can I drink Starbucks using gift card given to me by a friend? These people are so creative. I mean, yeah. You're not supporting them. You're actually taking money away from them, right? The only thing is, yeah, I was gonna say, like you know.
I got a few Starbucks,
Yeah, I think just go to all white neighborhood with no one around to judge you. Okay. What the heck is going on here? This is what I told you guys. Look here. Is it okay to be stuck on a single girl and pray to Allah for her even if you are rejected before? This is just a person who doesn't want to give up on his crush. What else we have here? Oh man. This one is deep. Let's try to answer this one. This is for the sisters. Maybe for the brothers too. Let's see. I feel like being a Muslimah is too much when some men keep pressuring religion on my life. Look, sister, being a Muslim or Muslimah is difficult in different cases and circumstances. Everybody's got their issues and tissues. However, remember, understand Islam well, connect to Islam well. Ignore the people around you. It's between you and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And when you understand your deen and Islam, you will understand that life is nothing without it. Bars?
Issues and tissues.
Yes. Okay. Anyone got any other questions before I keep reading this stuff? Yes.
Let's say you're traveling before Eid, and the day of Eid comes, is the Eid Salah like wajib on you, or what would you do?
Eid Salah in all the madhahib is not wajib except in the Hanafi madhab. The Hanafi madhab it's wajib, in the other ones it's sunnah mu'akkada. Okay? As a traveler, I don't know why you would travel in Eid, but I guess it could happen. You should avoid traveling in Eid unless like your life depends on it. Because Eid is a time of break. Eid is a holiday. Eid is a time to be with family. So you're going out with your family for Eid? Yeah. Yeah. So whenever you're traveling for even a obligatory prayer, it doesn't become obligatory anymore. So for sure, for Eid, it's not going to be obligatory, right? But avoid traveling for Eid, unless, like you said, it wasn't planned to be that way, but it happened that way. Okay. Any other questions, young brothers, sisters? Any sisters have any questions? Otherwise, I'm going to keep reading, yo. Who's Sandra? Do you know about Sandra? There's some meme that I'm missing out on. Some of these things you guys can help me. If there's some kind of meme out there that I'm, behind on, you can tell me. Okay, this is interesting. Okay, this is a good question. Let's go. Bismillah. Out of all the crazy questions, sometimes there's good questions. All right. Is fast praying haram? Because I have a habit of fast praying, but I'm trying to kill the habit. Habibi, prayer is not an exercise. Prayer is something that is connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So it's not supposed to be done fast. And there is a limit of how fast you can pray. The fastest you can pray, scholars say, is that you should be in a calm state in every position of prayer for at least one tasbih, subhanallah. At least for the time of subhanallah, subhana rabbi al-a'la, subhana rabbi al-azim, at least for that. So you have to be in a full upright position, downright position, bowing position for at least, let's say, 1 second. Beyond that, it's not haram, your salah is not even accepted. Alright? So kill the habit before you get cooked with the habit. Cool? Yalla. I don't think people know what's the limit of how fast they can pray. It's important to know that. You have to be able to be in a state of itma'nina, so like a state of serenity in every position. And the minimum is, you can say, like 1 second. Okay? Or Subhana Rabbi al-A'la. You have to be able to say Subhana Rabbi al-A'la at least once. You're supposed to, the sunnah is to say it 3 times. But at least once, the time of saying it for at least once, you should be able to do that. Yes? If you're faster than that, if you're too fast, where you're, a lot of times people, especially getting up from ruku', they're like in a continuous motion, and then they go down. Your salah is not accepted. You have to stand up fully and then go back down. So if you do this continuous motion thing, you messed up your salah. Yes.
When you're saying Allah Akbar or saying Allah, you have to be moving as you're saying it, or say it first and then move?
It's okay, you can say it as you're moving, but you have to stop fully, like finish what you're saying, at least stop fully. Okay? So, سمع الله من حمده ربنا ولك الحمد حمدا كثيرا طيبا مباركا, right? ملء السماوات وملء الأرض. You can continue the whole thing. Ideally, say it in your position. Okay? But if you're going to say it a little bit before, after, this is why scholars say at least 1 full iteration in the position. Okay? Yeah. Yes. Exactly. Yeah. Cool. So guys, I'm going to stop here. Food is coming in a couple of minutes. I promised you guys there's going to be free haircuts. Alright? So the guys are here. Is the temporary barber shop is upstairs? 1 or 2 barber shops? 2. Allahu Akbar. There's 2 barber shops upstairs. You want a free haircut? Go upstairs. I think some people should go now before and then eat pizza later so that we can get more haircuts. Alright? And they're doing it for free. There's the man, one of the men right there, one of the twins. So they're here. Grab your haircut, inshallah. If you have a lot of hair like me and the gentleman there and that gentleman there, we can do it at the end, inshallah. So others, inshallah, go for it, okay? Get to know each other. The food will be here any minute now. Subhanakallah wa bihamdik, nashhadu an la ilaha illa ant, nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk. And if anybody wants a selfie, just come and ask me. Don't be shy. It's okay. I don't mind doing selfies and salafis.